Production for Loud Guitars, and we're here with Keith Nelson from Buckcherry. Hi Keith, how are you?
I'm good. How's things?
Things are great. I understand you've been doing a few cities in Canada.
Well, no, actually we started on the West Coast
Okay.
and have been working our way east. So I think we're entering our third week of this Canadian tour, so we've done a lot of dates in Canada.
Oh, I didn't realize it was so long. So you managed to hit all the cities that you hit back in 2009 when you recorded Live and Loud?
Right. Most of them, yeah. We did record Live and Loud up here, and the reason that we did that is because of just the reaction that we get from the Canadian fans. It's really always over the top. The energy's always great. The band always is playing at the top of our abilities, so we figured it would be a good opportunity to capture the band.
Yeah, Canadians, we generally are quite appreciative, aren't we?
You love to rock.
Yeah, we definitely love to rock here in Canada, absolutely. And speaking of rocking, you've got Shiprocked coming up. How did that come about?
They called us and said, if we can get you motion sickness medication, will you guys come play for us? Now, I don't know how it really happened. The opportunity came up and we all looked at each other and we're like, we're going to go to these really cool cities, we're going to be on a boat. I mean, what's wrong with that? Sounds like a good time, actually.
And are you gigging a lot while you're on the boat, or are you doing a few shows? Do you know that? I mean, this is
I think we're doing like 3 or 4 shows on the boat. No lie. So it should be interesting.
And it's a week long, and there'll be Hell Yeah. You toured with Hell Yeah before.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like when you're not working, you get to hang out with your
Yeah,
buddies.
I mean,
it's like a vacation.
The boat pulls into these exotic cities that we've never been to. We're going to get off the boat and hopefully we'll make it back on.
Tourista.
Exactly.
Very good, very good. I was lucky enough to see a clip of you at the Bastard Ranch.
Yes.
Do you want to talk to me about the Bastard Ranch?
Sure. That's my home studio that I have, and we kind of needed a name at the last possible moment, and that just kind of fell out of my mouth, and there you have it. You know, it's a cozy little joint. It's not super huge, but it's very heavy on the analog gear side of things, and I love the way it sounds there, and it's really comfortable working there. I think all the guys enjoyed kind of hanging out in my backyard and making a record.
It brings about a little bit of a different structure when you're not on the clock in a studio. Did you find that sort of played out when you were tracking for the record? Were you guys showing up with an idea or a riff and just sort of jamming out and hearing what came of it? Was that...
That was definitely a part of it. You know, normally what would happen would be we would write in pre-production for a couple of months, write about 30-some songs, record 17 of them, and pick 12 to be on the record. What happens to the other 13 songs? You just kind of leave them, you don't finish them, or they're not quite what you wanted. But with this process, what we were able to do is start a song, get it kind of done, and then look at it and go, what don't we like about it? And then keep the best part and rework it and change the key, change the tempo, and really work on every idea that we were passionate about and see it all the way through. So we didn't end up with a lot of extra material at the end of the record. We just really focused on making each song better and being open to changing it and working with it and through the process.
And I think it on the record you can definitely tell that you are having an awful lot of fun, and the energy is great, and layers, multi-layers of warmth. You managed to capture a very warm sound, and I guess credit to your analog gear.
Well,
right?
yeah, that's one of the, I love the Black Butterfly record, but one of the problems that I had with that record was the sonic quality of it when it was finished, you know. Not that it was bad, but I just felt like it didn't deliver what I want to hear in a record. So it was a very conscious effort on my part to work closely with my engineer and make sure that we got a finished product that was modern enough, but still had some of the warmth of my favorite records that are all 20 and 30 years old.
And did you have a hard time wearing both hats, stepping away from the music and away from your guitar parts enough to say, oh yeah, it really needs this, or?
I don't feel like I have a problem with it. I enjoy that process. I enjoy stepping back and looking at it and then, you know, trying to get the sound that's in my head out, whether it's giving someone a suggestion or doing it myself. You know, I really enjoy that process.
That's great. And did you have a favorite piece of gear? I mean, it's your home, so you probably got all your favorites there. Was there one that you kept leaning toward?
Well, there's one particular microphone that kept popping up on a lot of different stuff. A Bach 195, which was really the sleeper. I got it right before the record started, and it ended up on everything: kick drum, vocals, guitar, amps.
So what's next?
What's next for us is we're going to finish up here in Canada. We're going to go play Arizona Bike Week beginning of April. We're going to go to Iraq and play a handful of shows in Kuwait for the troops. We're going to go to Mexico and South America with Motley Crue. We're going, and that's in May. We're going to Europe for the entire month of June. And then we are back in North America for July and August as of right now.
Wow, busy
Shiprock in
schedule.
November.
Yes, and
Lots
that's
of stuff
a
going on.
vacation work.
I mean, when you do this for a living, it's kind of like being on vacation all the time.
There you go.
It's so easy. They just show up, they give you money to hang out. It's nice.
That works.
Yeah.
I'd like that
Easy-
kind
easy
of job.
job.
That
Easy
would be
job.
a good job.
Yeah.
What are you listening to on your iPod these days?
Wow, what am I listening to? I love the new Foo Fighters song. Rope, it's awesome. Great stuff. What else am I listening to? Jeez, a lot of old stuff, you know? I mean, I'm in a Cheap Trick phase right now,
I have Cheap Trick on mine too.
so I love that stuff. A Robert Johnson phase, believe it or not. I just read, I've been a fan of Robert Johnson since I started picking up the guitar, and just kind of revisiting some of that stuff and remembering what it was that inspired me to actually play the guitar.
If you had a piece of advice for a budding guitarist now, what would it be?
Absolutely, I learned so much, you know, and the majority of what I learned was just shutting up and listening to other people and asking questions, and not, even at this point now, making a few records and whatever, I don't know. I still feel like I have so much to learn. I feel like I'm just a student of recording and songwriting, and I get so many pieces of advice, you know, from writing with other people, which I fought early in our career,
Okay.
and I'm really open to it now because I feel like there's something to be learned from writing songs with people that write hit songs, you know? There's nothing to be lost at that. And then, you know, kind of developing your own taste and what you like to hear, and then trusting that, and not second guessing it and just committing to things. I think one of my biggest issues with the way people make records now is that they don't commit to things. And for better or worse, I know the way I want it to sound, and I don't have any issue committing to sounds and parts and things like that.
And do you find that your setup on your guitar and your amp itself has really evolved over the years? Are you still pretty close to where you started?
It's still pretty close to where it started. You know, I've always been kind of a Les Paul into a Marshall kind of guy, although I love a Telecaster into a Fender amp or any variation thereof. But at the end of the day, I mean, the Les Paul into the Marshall is, I mean, that's the sound. It's the sound.
Well, I'd like to thank you so much. This has been like a personal highlight for me. But before I let you go, what of everything you guys have, you're no stranger to Billboard charts, you've toured with Kiss, you've shared stages with some of the most incredible bands in rock. Have you got a personal highlight?
Wow, there's two. I'll tell you
Okay.
that. Meeting James Brown at Woodstock '99 was awesome. You know, he's the godfather of soul, come on. And we had a chance to play a few shows with AC/DC about maybe 8 years ago. And one of the shows was at Madison Square Garden, which was so memorable, because that's just the place that you dream about playing. And after our last show on that tour, they invited us into their dressing room after the show, and we hung out, the five of us hung out with the five guys in that band. We just
Nice.
chilled for like half an hour, had some tea, smoked cigarettes, and just kind of shot the bull with those guys. It was incredible. Couldn't have been nicer, more humble, welcoming gentlemen to us.
Oh, that's beautiful to hear. And I think that energy that you bring is just so, it gets transferred through onto the music, and I'm looking so forward to watching you go tonight.
We're going to have a good time. Montreal's always off the hook for us. What's up? I'm Keith Nelson for loudguitars.com.